Okay, so you're going to start with the line art, a half tone, and continuous tone. We're starting with the original continuous tone. So you want to launch into Photoshop and then go ahead and place or open or download your original picture, the continuous tone, into Photoshop. Now it's going to give you a background layer and the layer of your picture. I'm just going to go ahead and click on this background, get rid of it, and I don't want that blank layer for any reason. I don't need it. But I do want to create a new layer, and I'm going to copy. So I need to go to the first layer, and right now I'm in the layers palette. Go to the first layer and make sure I copy that layer, and I'm going to go to layer 2 and paste it there. Create a new layer, and I'm going to paste a third one. So then that way I can get all three of them. This one, layer 1, is going to be my original, so I'm just going to leave it blank. And I'm actually going to go ahead and take off the eye so you can't see it, which doesn't look like it's doing anything right now, but you'll see what I'm doing in a minute. Okay, so I'm working in layer 2. First thing you have to do is select the blue area because we're going to get rid of that. I don't want that background. So you have a couple ways to do it. You could take your magic wand and select by color, and I've turned my tolerance up. So normally the preset is 32 tolerance, so you can see that doesn't select all those blue pixels. But this doesn't necessarily work. Let's say you have a blue background and you're wearing a blue shirt. Well, it's going to select your shirt also. So I could do that way and get rid of my background. And that works pretty well for me because I had the background and a black shirt. But if that doesn't work for the picture you have, you will need to select using a different tool. So I'm going to show you the magic wand tool, the magic lasso, and you just click, and you'll notice it's kind of following my color pixels right here. So I'm just clicking along the edge of the difference. Then I'm just going to come up and around, come back to my original spot, and then I can delete that. Now you'll notice I'm missing some of these right here, or I have too much blue around here, right? I really don't want that blue. So I can go to my lasso tool, and you have plus and minus right here, or you can use your keys. So shift is going to add, command or option, alt is going to minus. So see how I get a minus sign? And actually I want a plus, sorry. I'm going to shift because I want to add this part to my blue right here, and I want that blue there. So I'm just lassoing. See how that's not selected anymore? Right here I come close, I don't want that anymore. Okay, so that's pretty good, and I can delete that. And then I can see I have some stuff I might want to erase right here, which I'm going to deselect everything. So nothing, those marching ants are gone. And then if I have any blue or anything like that, I can go ahead and erase it, or select with my color pixels, get anything that's blue out of there. Okay, so that's kind of the way. I'm going to select it a different way. You'll notice I've lost some pixels here, but for the line art picture, it really doesn't matter. The one thing I need to do to turn it to line art now is I need to change it to grayscale. So I'm going to go up to image, down to down to adjustments, and then I'm moving over to desaturate, and that is going to turn that grayscale. So now that's grayscale. Now I'm going to go back up to image, over to adjustments, and I want to change my brightness and contrast just so I get some more contrast, because you can see once I turn it to grayscale, it's pretty flat, and I want a little bit brighter, and I definitely want more contrast because it's that difference between the black and white that's really going to show in my line art. And hit OK. Again, I'm making sure I'm working in layer 2. And then after I've done that, to turn it to line art, I'm going to go up to filter, down to filter gallery right here. And you can play around with some of the different things, like you have artistic It's kind of a fun one to play with if you've never used the filter gallery. But what I actually want to do is I'm going to do the stamp. That's going to give me a better line art. And then I'm going to play around with maybe my light and dark balance here, because you can see I lost some of my, if I go too smooth, I lose everything. So kind of just adjust that so I get some of the features so I'm a little bit recognizable. And you can kind of play around with that one. That one I've lost a lot of my details, so I might want to go back to my original photo and get contrast. But if you're looking at really close, you don't see it. But if you step back, like if I'm looking at your computers from here, it does look like a picture of me. But if I'm looking right at the monitor, you kind of lose that. Okay, then you're going to hit OK. So I have a line art design. Now I'm going to click off the eye, so it means that I can't see it. It's still there, but it just means it's invisible for a minute. I'm going to come up to layer 3, make sure it's highlighted. Click on the eye so I see layer 3, and on this one we're going to do the halftone. So it's basically following those steps again. You're going to go to Image, Adjustments, oh, sorry, I forgot to select. So we're going to select by and I'm going to use the quick selection tool just to show you there's a bunch of different ways you can select. So what I'm going to do is just select using quick selection tool, and I'm holding down and just dragging along the edge. Oh. Oh, and it keeps bleeding into it. So that tool is not working for this picture. There's not enough contrast. So I'm going to go back to use my lasso tool. That quick selection tool works really well for selecting some photos, but obviously not on this one. Okay, so this time what I did is I selected myself instead of the blue background, but I want the blue background gone, so what I'm going to do is go to select and inverse, which means it selects the opposite of what I had selected, so that when I hit delete, the background's gone. Now if I want to add, again, I'm going to hit shift, and I want to just get rid of that blue that's above my head. Hit delete again and it's gone. Okay, so now I want to affect, now if I try to go up to image and desaturate, you'll notice it's not really going to show anything because I have the background that's empty selected. So again, I have to watch what I have selected. So you're going to inverse. So now you can see the marching ants around me. Go to image, adjustment, desaturate, and then I'm going to change my contrast, so image, adjustments, contrast, and this time I'm not going to go to the filter, I'm going to go to image, adjustments, and down to oh, sorry, it is under filter. Filter, pixelate, and color halftone. And because I turned it black and white, it's not a color halftone. And the one thing you want to make sure is your max radius is 5, and you've changed channel 1, 2, 3, all to 45. Hit OK, and then I have a halftone. So these are all here. And we can just copy, and what I want to do is I'm going to have you take each one of these. Now you're going to open up Illustrator, give yourself a new page. You're going to select this one. So you can just go select all, copy, open up your Illustrator page, and you're going to go to Illustrator, File, Place. Paste. Not place. Okay, so there's my continuous tone. Then I come back to Photoshop. I'm going to come to this layer, make sure it's selected, make sure I'm selected in this layer, copy that one, Illustrator, and go ahead and just paste that right into Illustrator. There's your line art. And then you'll go back, make sure you're on your halftone, copy, Illustrator, paste, label them, make sure your name's on them, and I'm going to have you guys save these to your document so that we can submit these to Canvas. Save as a PDF because you're saving the Illustrator file, not the JPEG file or the bitmap file. In Photoshop, the other thing, then you can come back in and play with some stuff. It's kind of cool where if you want to show all of them so they're all viewing, in layer 1, I could take my opacity and drag it down. And I'm going to come to layer 2, take my opacity, turn it down. So you almost get like a cartooning effect to your face or your photo. And once you have that, feel free to go ahead and draw stuff, add stuff. It's kind of fun to maybe even do a background where you put a collage. So you have like a photo of yourself. You've put collage of different pictures you like back there. So once you're done with this, go ahead and play with it. To be submitted for this assignment is really teaching you guys about continuous tone, line art, and halftone. So this is what I want submitted to Canvas before you walk out of here today. This shouldn't take very long. So, okay, I will get off your computers. You guys go ahead and have fun.